sports coverage of the National Football League. Brings us to Indianapolis, Indiana, where they fire up the crowd with the striking of the anvil as it's time for football at Lucas Oil Stadium. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts. On the Dolphins sideline, Mike McDaniel at 42 in his 4th season now as the Miami head coach. And on the opposite side, Shane Steichen now in year 3 as the head coach of the Colts. So what lies in store for these teams this season? The talking's done. We're about to find out. It's week 1, and off we go on EA Sports. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. Out come the Colts, and they are led by their big quarterback who's trying to find his way in the NFL. Year 3 for Anthony Richardson out of Florida.
Mike, isn't there just something different about week 1 of the NFL season? I mean, after months of anticipation, debate, speculation, it all gets settled on the field. New coaches, new teams, rookies playing their first time. Man.
Oh, in trouble, and down he goes. That is Zach Sealer. He's into the sack column early in the season. A sack on this opening drive.
Well, here early on, if this pass rush continues to get home at this rate, this is going to be a long day for this offense. They're going to have to put some extra guys in there, mix in some play action, keep this pass rush off balance.
From the gun on 3rd down, Richardson. That one too far out in front. It is incomplete. So, on 4th down, the Colts send out Rigoberto Sanchez to punt. A dangerous Tyreek Hill is deep for Miami. A fair catch. He's going to call it and take it right around his own 30-yard line. The Miami offense set to go, led by 27-year-old Tua Tagovailoa. Greg, hard to believe, 6th season as the Dolphins quarterback.
Mike, as I think back to opening day over my years of playing in the NFL, it didn't matter if I was a rookie or going into my 14th season. I think every player goes into that game with just a little bit of extra nerves. Thinking, new season, new opportunity. Can I still do this at a high level? And man, you get through that first game and it feels like you can finally take a deep breath and let the season unfold. There's going to be a lot of nerves in this one here today, but the team that settles down the fastest and just gets back to playing ball, they're going to have a big advantage coming away with a big win today.
It's a gain of 6. And it's Tua now on 3rd down. This one broken up. It's incomplete. Good job separating the receiver from the ball, and it is 4th down.
Remember what they told us, Mike, leading up to this game. They said it is so critical for us to find success, especially on 3rd down. We want to maintain possession, extend these drives. Well, the first crack comes up and they fail through the air, and we're going to have to regroup and be able to have better success throughout the remainder of this game.
So here come the Colts. Greg, they're just kind of in the middle. They're 8-9 last year, behind Houston a couple of games in the division. The last few years it felt like, well, Indy's got a chance, but they just don't have enough guys to get to that next level. It's an important season for the Colts all the way around.
It is, and you mentioned the 8-9 record, Mike, and what really concerns me is not necessarily the record. We always have to look at the context. You're 8-9, but in a division that's, let's be honest, it's not the strongest division in the league. So as that division continues to get better, does Houston get back to the way from a couple years ago? And all of a sudden now, there's a lot less wins on the schedule. So Anthony Richardson, does he now step up and really be the franchise quarterback he was drafted to be? Is it Daniel Jones? Does he kind of have a rebirth now in the Shane Steichen offense and kind of capture some of the magic we saw at times with the Giants? So I think there's a lot of unanswered questions, but this is a big year for this Colts team. Take advantage of the down division, win the division, compete for the division, and I think they'll quiet down some of the concern around Indianapolis.
Here's Rigoberto Sanchez now. The punt for the 2nd time, looking to pin the opponent back deep. And this one's going to land out of bounds as they'll mark it inside the 20. So, Greg, you look at these Dolphins, 2 years ago, felt like it was going in the right direction, but last year, 8-9, 5 games behind Buffalo in the AFCs. It feels like an important season for everyone with the Dolphins.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things Mike McDaniel has to start to realize, Mike, is does their regular season philosophy and identity, does that carry over when they have to go up north to Buffalo and some of these northern cities in the playoffs? And we've seen over the last couple of years, whether it was in Kansas City or when they go up north to Buffalo at the end, that high-flying, open, widespread speed attack has some struggles. So they need Tua to stay healthy. They need him to continue to develop and improve the talent around him. And then Mike McDaniel has to do a great job with his staff finding an identity that's not only good in the regular season, but when they make the playoffs, it travels. He does a nice job coming from his safety position, filling his run gap assignment, and keeps this to a modest gain at best.
From the 31, here is 2nd and 8. Fake the hand. Now, Tua. Throw left side, but that's going to be incomplete. We're going to try to pick this up on 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Tua. The pressure gets home. He's lost the football. And no turnover here. One of the guards able to get the football and get on it to keep possession. Here's Ryan Stonehouse now, as he'll hit this from just outside of his own goal line. This kick hangs up, and a fair catch will be taken beyond the 35-yard line. So, first quarter in the books here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. We'll come back to Indianapolis in a moment. The Colts with the football to start this second quarter. Now a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line, as we are ready to get back underway. Right here down the field. This ball incomplete. Tyler Warren, the man he was looking for there. And it'll lead to a 2nd down. Richardson gonna look to throw. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he's gonna be out of bounds just beyond midfield. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10.
That's good for a Colts.
Out of shotgun, Richardson. That is caught downfield by Pierce. And they'll move this ball way down into the red zone, inside the 20-yard line.
Colts, 1st down.
Richardson going to get it quickly out to down. And he'll be taken down. We have a chance for the first points of this game as they've set up 1st and goal.
Colts, 1st down.
They'll put one of the tight ends in motion.
At the 8-yard line.
They'll run here with Taylor. And that is going nowhere in a hurry. Finally taken down well behind the line.
Look, Mike, I realize most people, if they saw a lineman of his size waiting for him, they would just run the other way. But it's his job to try to find a way around the big fella and get what he can. Running backwards only turns a small setback into a much bigger one.
A throw left side there, not going to find the target. Incomplete. 3rd and goal.
It's now 3rd.
From the gun, Richardson. And he'll take it on in. Alec Pierce. Touchdown, Indy.
We used to have a saying that it was the responsibility of the receiver to run the route through the eyes of the quarterback. And I think this is a great example here. 2 guys clearly on the same page. Quarterback expected his target to be in a certain place at a certain time. He's there, ball's delivered accurately. He's able to pick up the rest with his legs, and that's a big-time connection for the touchdown.
Ryland's kick here is good. And the Colts will take a 7-0 lead.
Dolphins, nothing.
Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. On the return, Malik Washington. And And a decent return there. He'll get this up just shy of the 30. Out comes Miami and the offense to get started on their next drive. Greg, this AFC East, a division that really has been dominated by the Bills. The 5 straight division titles. It's hard to see who can knock them off that perch rate.
Yeah, and I think until someone decides that that's going to change, I think you just have to assume that Buffalo remains the king of the East. And I think when you look at the bottom of the division with the Jets and New England, they're clearly in a rebuild. Young quarterbacks, new coaching staffs, trying to kind of get themselves out of the bottom of the division. Miami seems to me, I don't know if they're ready to compete necessarily with Buffalo directly, but Miami is a playoff caliber roster, a playoff caliber team. They've showed it in years past. So if anybody's ready to compete, I think it's Miami. I just don't know, Mike, if they are ready top to bottom over the length of the season to get enough wins to keep pace with a team as good as Buffalo.
And 2 new coaches at the bottom of the standings last year, the Jets and the Patriots. And Greg, both guys who played for a long time in the league and bring a certain amount of toughness to the top of the organizations.
Oh, absolutely, and it was very clear exactly what New York and New England were looking for. They wanted culture setters, right? It wasn't about getting the fancy play caller. It wasn't about the X's and O's. They needed to establish an identity and a culture of excellence and of winning. So no question, Mike, there was a very clear mission, a clear path to landing on Vrabel and Aaron Glenn, and they think they have their guy for the long term.
And that is incomplete.
And this offense just cannot get anything going right now on 3rd down. If you ask any offensive play caller throughout the entire league, Mike, the importance of 3rd down, maintaining possession, making the defense stay on the field and have long extended drives, it is critical to not only scoring points, but ultimately winning in the NFL.
The Colts offense ready to see what they can do. Greg, when you look at the AFC South, there's an appreciation for what the Houston Texans have done. A couple of different quarterbacks, a couple of different head coaches. They've really been the team over the last several years that has been the team to beat in this division. And for the others, there's been moments. The question is, what pieces can they put together to try and knock Houston off the top?
Yeah, and you know, nobody wants to be in a rebuild, right, Mike? Your coach got fired probably for a reason. You're drafted at the top of the draft order for a reason. Typically means things didn't go great. But if you're going to rebuild, I'll tell you, you want to do it in a division where there's a lot of wins on your schedule, and that's certainly the AFC South over the last couple of years. So as bad as things feel with Jacksonville and Tennessee, the fact that there's not a big dog in your division, your ability to find yourself climbing up the ladder is not as far as away as it might seem in the moment.
And Greg, I've heard you say a bunch of times, if you have a quarterback, you have a chance. Well, both of these teams at the bottom of the division last year, Jacksonville and Tennessee, they've got #1 overall picks as their quarterbacks. One who's been around for a bit in Trevor Lawrence, and one who's recently been drafted in Cam Ward. They have to be #1 overall pick performers for these teams to come challenge.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And with Trevor Lawrence, like, we've seen him play top-tier, #1 overall, got a big new contract. I mean, we've seen him play franchise quarterback level ball. It just hasn't been frequent enough. And then, of course, in Tennessee with Cam Ward, we're not sure what it's going to look like, but we knew in college he was
And they're going to get to him and take him down, take him back to the other side of midfield. The Colts will signal for their 3rd and final timeout. Clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on 2nd down, Richardson. And downfield, it is Downs with the catch. They'll come up here, 1st and 10.
19 yards.
Looking to throw, Richardson. Looking down the field there, but it falls incomplete. Chad Ryland on now for the field goal. This one from 49. Ryland's kick is good. And the Colts will extend to a 10-0 lead.
outside of coming away with a touchdown. I'm not sure they could have done any better to close out that half. I mean, they burned all the clock. They don't let the opponent possess the ball, and they come away with points.
He'll start at the 2. Uh-oh. Now an opening past the 30. And he'll be forced out of bounds. And with that, time has run out on this first half. Halftime coming up.
All right, Mike,
and we'll
thanks
take
very
it out
much.
of Scott Hanson
Today
for the EA
is
Sports
the day, the
Halftime
debut
Report.
of our new halftime show. Buckle up, everyone. I think you're going to like it. Our trip around the NFL starts now, and it starts with a good one in the AFC West. And this is Patrick Mahomes. 58 yards for the score. The Chiefs begin their search for a fourth straight Super Bowl appearance. They get the victory in Week 1. From there, why don't we go to South Philly? Look in on the Eagles as they're hosting the Dallas Cowboys. And here's the new signee from Denver, Javonte Williams. His first touchdown with the star on his helmet. The Cowboys come out on top, and Brian Schottenheimer has his first W as the head coach of Big D. One more to tell you about. We go to Jacksonville, the Jags taking on the Carolina Panthers. And it's the third-year man, Bryce Young. It's a touchdown pass from 3 yards out. This one's gone to halftime, and it's the Panthers still trail, however, and that game's gone to half. Time for a look here at the rest of the games going on and what's to come here in Week 1 of the new NFL season. Meanwhile, in our game, just one touchdown in the first half, 10-0 your score, as we send you back out to the broadcast team, Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
All right, Scott. First half played out a bit as we expected. We'll see if there's a surprise coming up. Both teams set to go, and the second half is underway. And they'll bring him down just shy of the 30-yard line. The Dolphins offense looking to get back to work as we begin this third quarter. You know, Greg, as we get the season going, obviously, they'll start on the ground. It's A-10. He's fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage, but can't get there. Dropped for the loss of a yard.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on first down, but that's exactly the case here.
Lost one on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. Tua. Now a screen set up for A-10. And he's out of bounds up beyond the 40-yard line. So they come to the line for first down and 10. Tua, give it to A-10. They're going to work this down inside the 45. Give them 15 more on that one. They are on the move. It's a first down. First down, Miami. Once again, it's A-10. And he'll be forced out of bounds just a couple yards short of a first down. That's a pickup of 8.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2.
Now the former Tulane star. Here's Tyjae Spears. He'll try to get back to the line, but he's not happening. Gonna lose a yard.
The offense thinks that they can just kind of plow this one up there in the middle and keep the chains moving, but not on this defense. Not only do they not pick up the first down, but after suffering that loss, now they've got some decisions to make on third down.
He'll try and get there on the ground. 10 yards on the scramble there, and he picks up the first down.
Juju Brents on the tackle. It's a gain of 10. First down, Dolphins.
They'll run this one straight ahead with A-10. To be brought down inside the 25. Tackled there by Quiddy Pay.
Brings up 2nd down.
They'll stay on the ground with A-10. And they're their woes in the running game continue. He's going to be taken down behind the line.
28-yard line.
He sniffed that one out from the jump. I mean, once he diagnosed and knew where the ball was going, he got there in a hurry, and he put an end to that play really before it ever got started.
They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
At this stage of the game, things haven't been going your way, so one more mistake, it could just be too much to overcome. So a nice decision there. Just throw it away out of bounds and give your team a fighting chance. And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
Anthony Gould now to return. He'll get this up past the 20. That's where they'll set up shop. The Colts offense getting ready for their opening possession of this second half. You know, Greg, you start to think about, okay, who are the teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that have a chance this year? Look, it happens every year. We just have to identify who they are. Who are a couple top of mind for you as we start 2025?
Well, as I start in the AFC, I think the Cincinnati Bengals. And you got to think the way their season ended last year, they rattle off 5 wins straight, really on the back of Joe Burrow. We could have made the argument if they're a playoff team that Joe Burrow was the best player. I mean, he was incredible. Most weeks, Mike, he single-handedly carried that offense. Now, new defensive coordinator in Al Golden coming from the college ranks. Can he just make that defense in Cincinnati better? Because if they just play a little bit better with that high-profile offense, I think they're a team. They might not win the division with Baltimore, but they're going to be close and maybe at least get one of those wild card spots.
Why don't you flip it over? Who are the guys you're watching in the NFC?
You know, I think Dallas is going to find themselves just the fact that I know the division is difficult. Obviously, Philadelphia remains really strong. Does Washington kind of regress a little bit back now in year 2? They were a high-profile, big splash team of last year. Do they regress to the median? Time will tell. But I think healthy Dallas, healthy Dak, healthy Micah Parsons, like that roster that we saw play last year is not the roster on paper that we expected to see. So I think Dallas has a chance. I think San Francisco always is going to be a team, again, dealt with their own injuries last year with McCaffrey and all the stuff on defense. So I think San Francisco and Dallas are 2 perennial teams we expect to be in the playoff hunt. They missed out last year. I wouldn't be shocked to see them back in it again this year.
1st and 10. Fourth quarter commences. It's a run by Taylor. And that'll be good for about a half dozen. It'll set up 2nd down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 40-yard line.
They go right back to Taylor. And the defense there to meet him. They'll hold him to 2 and bring up 3rd down.
38-yard line. A 2-yard pickup.
He'll try and run for this. It's Taylor. But he goes nowhere. Call doesn't pan out. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, this seems pretty straightforward. 3rd and 1, just dial up a run play and run straight downhill. But this defense had other plans. They were ready and expecting that run, and they're able to take the ball carrier down for a loss.
They'll run for it. It's Taylor. And he is going to have a Colts 1st down. It's a gain of 12 facing 4th down.
That's another Colts 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
On 1st down, they'll stay with Taylor on the ground. This time they're ready for him. Room to run the last snap. Not this one. They stop him for no gain.
At the 26-yard line.
A 2nd down throw for Richardson. He's got it at the 7. And he's into the end zone. That might be the knockout punch. Allen Pierce. Touchdown Colts. That is 2nd touchdown now here in the season opener. Everything you want to do right there, Greg, in the 4th quarter, get the ball with the lead and extend it to a 2-score advantage.
Yeah, I think this just might end up being too much to overcome. You said it. Once you get a two-score lead this late in the fourth quarter, there's just not enough possessions to be had to claw yourself back in it.
Makes the score 17. Dolphins 3.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kicks away. He fields it at the 8. And a solid run back there. He'll get this out past the 30-yard line. The Dolphins offense about ready to take over once more. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Tagovailoa. He's got his man, Keyshawn Boutte. And he's out of bounds up beyond the 40-yard line. 2 and out on 1st down. He's got Laporta open on the left side. And they get this one across midfield to the 47-yard line.
It's a gain of 10. 1st down, Dolphins.
Play action. Tagovailoa. And he'll be hauled down at about the 35-yard line. Here's 1st and 10.
A gain of 12. 1st down, Miami.
Well run with Achane. The hole closes quickly. He'll pick up about 3. It is 2nd and 6.
Brings up 2nd down.
Out of the pistol, here's Tua. He'll get this out quickly to him. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple, and it sets up 3rd down.
To number 10, Tyreek Hill. It's a gain of 2 yards. And it's 3rd down.
A shotgun snap for Tua. This one just too far for the receiver out in front of him. That one falls incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill there. And it's going to be 4th down. They snap it to Tua. He's got the hook up there to Waddle. And he will have a Dolphins 1st down as this defense can't come up with the play they need. They surrender a gain of 17 on 4th down. And some good running there. He'll fall forward for about 7.
The tackle made at the 3-yard line. A 7-yard pickup.
They'll drop the throw. Good coverage there in the end zone. That is incomplete. Terrific work. They separated the man from the football, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
3 yards to go.
Here's Tagovailoa. Good blocking, and he's in. Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown, Miami.
Well, that was step 1. The offense did their job, get this thing back within 1 possession, so they're still alive. But now they've got to find a way to get a little bit of luck and find a way to get the ball back, and it's not going to be easy.
The extra point by Sanders is good. And the Dolphins are able to cut into the lead. It's now 17 to 10. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Khalil Herbert on the return. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Colts offense getting set to get back to work. And this game not quite in hand yet. Still, all 3 timeouts left for the defense, so they can't just kneel this one out. But 1 first down will essentially end the game. Oh, he can't get rid of it, and he's taken down. Now the Dolphins going to use the first of their timeouts. And they'll take it with just over 90 seconds left on the clock. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Richardson. That one complete to Pierce. Now Miami going to use the second of their timeouts. They'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining.
And after that first down throw, Mike, it's really a deflating moment of the defense. They understood the urgency of getting off the field and getting the ball back to their offense. Here we are under 2 minutes in a one-possession game.
The Dolphins going to use their final timeout here. They'll be disappointed there after giving up the first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. 2nd and 11. So it's a win for the Colts. They move to 1-0, getting the victory to begin the new campaign. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. The Colts, winners here in the Circle City, as we say so long from Indianapolis.